Welcome to episode 128 of the Epilogue Lady podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband, my oldest son and 2 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. There is also a group for this podcast on Ravelry where you can participate in make-alongs and the occasional giveaway. There is a make-along running at the moment, and it's the fluff to stuff, where you spin yarn and then make something from it. For those of you who has come back to this podcast, this is not your first time, but you've been here before, you might have noticed that I said 2 cats at the beginning instead of 3, and that's because we lost one of our furry babies. Harry, our middle child, so to speak, his kidneys failed, so we had to let him go. So that was one of the reasons this podcast is late, I guess, because I suddenly realized me saying 2 cats at the beginning. You see, people say it's just a cat. No, it isn't. It's a family member. So it's a grieving process when you lose a fur baby as well. So that was the sad stuff. My good friend Trine turned 60 yesterday, and she always watches this podcast, so happy birthday to you. As I told her, I'm following along in September. I think that's one of the reasons that the start of this year has been sort of dreading it, because this is the year I'm turning 60, and 60 feels old. 50 wasn't such a big deal. Actually, 40 was worse than 50, but 60, I mean, in Norway, you retire when you're 64 or 67, so it's my decade of retiring. Hopefully I'm going to grow really old though, hopefully. And no, these are not new glasses, these are old glasses. It's my computer glasses. They're for exactly this distance. You see, my eyesight has changed quite a bit. I think it's my age. I'm short-sighted, but actually I'm less short-sighted than I was the last time I went to the optometrist. I think that's what, optometrist. So I had to have a new prescription, and I'm waiting for those glasses to arrive. There's no reading part. These are, I think you call them progressive in English as well. So to keep it as cheap as possible, this doesn't have that part, but I'll just keep things at a distance. So my new glasses have arrived, and this time I'm actually also trying sunglasses with prescription. I've never had that before, but prescription sunglasses seemed like a good idea, because I haven't tried it before, because I thought it would be a hassle to have one extra pair of glasses with you. But then I realized even the sunglasses I use now that go out on top of your ordinary glasses, I have to drag those along anyway, so it wouldn't make a big of a deal. But I think I'm going to get a proper case for my glasses, because I don't want to throw really expensive glasses just in a pocket or something. So that's, you might call that a prologue, I guess. The Epilogue Lady is turning into the Prologue Lady. I'm wearing Rocket Tee by Tanis Lavallee, and sorry, trying to adjust my position. It's knit in Arctic Craft yarn in 100% merino and Sorrel alpaca. Because of the alpaca, it's a bit too warm to wear in summer, but it's perfect for spring. I have 2 spinning FOs and 2 knitting FOs. I'll start with the knitting. Because of the VAT and everything, it's really expensive for me to order yarn from abroad. I decided to do some proper research into Norwegian dyers, because I want to buy hand dyed from time to time, and there are lots of talented Norwegian dyers. And one of them, I really fell in love with her aesthetic and her colors. And the name of the company is Rauma Design. Not sure if she ships internationally, but anyways, she had this mini skein set, 10 color mini skein set, inspired by the Sakura season in Japan, the cherry blossom season. And here's a picture of the yarn, and she called it Hanami. And the reason why I ended up, I bought the yarn because I really love the colors, and I didn't know what to use. I didn't know what to knit with them. I just knew I had to knit them in this order, the order she dyed them in. And then she posted on Instagram a picture of the project she knit with those, and it's the Magic Sprig Shawl by Katerina Bobkova, and it's so perfect for the colors. And I have leftovers. I'm thinking about doing a magic knot ball with the leftovers, and as you can tell, this is a sparkly yarn, but it's not too sparkly, and I really love this. It's stupid to knit a shawl just when the shawl season's ending, but I did it anyway. So let's see. It doesn't say anything about the fiber content, but it's the normal Stellina nylon merino. So I can use it for socks, but I have different amounts left from the different colors, so I think a magic knot ball and in one of my scrappy projects, I guess. So that was my first knitting FO. I have 3 knitting FOs, and one of them is really big. It's so big I'm not going to unfold it. I'm just going to show you a corner. This is the big Marl, and the pattern is by Hedgehog Fibres, and it's really big and heavy, and it's knit with 5 strands. That's a proper stash buster, because it's knit with 5 strands held together, 5 strands of fingering. You can of course do 2 strands of DK with 1 strand of fingering. You can do several lace weights. You can just change them out as you go along. And I used a needle size 10mm, and I used magic knots along the way, so I didn't have to weave in a lot of ends at the end. And as I said, it's a really big stash buster. And now I have collected a lot of commercial yarns. There's a lot of commercial yarns in that one as well. Some hand dyed, some commercial, and I even put 2 sweater quantities into my blanket stash, because I'm never going to use them. It's the thing, you buy something on sale and you think, oh, this is going to be wonderful, and it isn't. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm doing another one of those blankets. I have no use for, apart from our oldest cat has fallen in love with that blanket. I'll put in a picture here. And I couldn't disappoint him and put it away, so it's still on the couch, so he can sleep on it. So, and then there's one more knitting FO, and I'm calling this an FO, even though I haven't seamed it under the arms or or woven in the ends. But this is it. It's a baby sweater. It's called an Islender. That's why we call these sweaters in Norwegian. It means Icelander. So probably this is an Icelandic pattern. To begin with, it's a traditional pattern in Norway. And this is knit in sisu from Sandnes. And it's size 1 year. I think it looks a bit big. Friends of ours, they're having their first baby this summer. And as I told them, I'm not knitting newborn size, because you're going to get lots of cute newborn clothes. And lots of women in their family are knitters, so there won't be any lack of cute newborn clothes. So I knit that size 1 year, so the baby has something to wear in the fall, because there's no use for knitted sweaters in summer. So I decided to knit the size 1 year. The bag, by the way, is made by Sue, my lovely friend in Canada, Craft Knitter 7. So that's the knitting FOs. And then we have the spinning FOs. And then we're back to gifted fiber. I have some gifted fiber and some fiber I bought. This is a combo of those two. One of the strands are from this company. It says Carberry Farm. It's Shetland sheep, fleece, wool and more. It says on the back, it says it's 100% superwash merino, 22 microns, hand-dyed cotton. And this is soft. This is crazy soft. The other half, the other strand, is from Ulve, bought to match this one from Canada. The one from Ulve is a semi-solid, so the colors you see are from the Carberry Farm. And this should be enough for a toddler sweater, I think. So maybe I should knit a sweater for our friend's baby in this. They know it's going to be a boy now, so light blue. Just a simple flax in this, because I think the yardage should be enough for a toddler sweater. I haven't soaked and snapped this yet, but it's like the sweater with that wasn't seamed under the arms and the ends weren't woven in. I'm calling this an FO. I'm not doing these podcasts often, so I can't wait. I probably would have casted something on before I do my next podcast. So I'm showing you the yarn before it's soaked. The other finished spinning project is this. I showed you the row lengths that Leslie from Not Quite Enough Yarn made for me. And this is the finished product. This would be lovely for a pair of shorties, I think. I might have enough yardage for that, but there's no nylon in this and I don't want to wear it out. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to knit legs on the socks in this and then knit the foot in sock yarn. Or maybe I'm knitting myself a pair of fingerless mitts. That would also be fun. I haven't soaked or snapped this either. So maybe fingerless mitts. That way I can show it off instead of hiding it. I think I'm going to do fingerless mitts. And they're not going to be identical or anything, because this is sort of, it's not a true fractal. I weighed the row legs, and I think I had 7 and in one lot and 6 in the other or something. And they were purple at one end and teal at the other, and half of them I spun purple to teal, the other half I spun teal to purple, and then I applied them. So there's no, because the row legs are never identical. There are different sizes, so it's not like it's striping or anything. So, but I think that it will make really fun fingerless mitts. And then we're over on the whips. I have a spinning whip that I'm not going to show you because then I would have to take the bobbin off the wheel. But I am working with, I think the company is called Shawl. It's a gift from Sue. She bought it at a festival. And it's a camel, alpaca, silk, merino blend. Just off the top of my head, I think that was it. And I really love spinning it. I'm getting a really thin single, fine single. I think the word is fine. And I'm going to apply that with a Malabrigo noob, also a gift from Sue, in about the same colors. And I'll probably have that finished before I talk to you again. So that was my spinning whip. I'm still working on the sweater project on my Ashford, and I haven't touched that in forever because I have sweater quantities, plenty of sweater quantities, and I really love playing on my eel wheel. So then we're over on whips. I have 3 active whips. This bag is from Ginger Snap That, and it's a pair of socks for my son. I'm doing them 2 at a time because this is a project knit. I want them finished. And the yarn, this wasn't planned, but the yarn is also Ginger Snap That. I think it's called Illumination. It was part of a care package. It's sort of, they put together a box and the yarn, a yarn and a bag, and some tea from Faking Sanity. It was lovely, and that yarn has been lying around in my stash for so long, and then I decided to knit socks for my son because he really loves those colors. The next whip I'm showing you is a surprise, I guess, or not a surprise. They know I'm knitting this sweater, but they don't know what it looks like. It's for a boy in the south of Norway. I'm 99% sure none of them watch my podcast. So I'm risking it. And if you're watching me, so sorry, but this is what it looks like. I'm knitting a sweater, and this is in thicker yarn because I'm thinking this is going to be a Christmas present. This is size 2 years, and it's in Viking yarn. And the yarn is called Sportsrag. It's got nylon in, if I'm not mistaken. It's 60% wool, 20% nylon, 20% acrylic, so it's perfect for children's clothing. And his mother loves mustard, so when I saw this kit online, I fell in love with it. And this is the first sleeve. I'm going to put up a picture here of what the finished sweater looks like. I bought yarn to knit him an Islender, the one I showed you at the beginning, in different colors, of course. But I put that aside because I checked. I have enough yarn to knit a size 3 years as well as a 2 years. So I think I might knit that in a bigger size and gift it next spring or something. I'll see. I could send both sweaters, of course. the Islender in thinner yarn would work as a layering piece in winter, I guess. And then I only have one whip left to show you, and this is in handspun. And the bag is another bag made by Sue, Crafted 87. And in here I have to turn this the other way around because I'm knitting this inside out. So I have to turn it inside out for me to show it to you properly. It's a Sorrel sweater. I had actually turned it inside out to show you, and I just turned it the other way around again. It's a Sorrel sweater, and of course I've forgotten the designer, so you'll see that at the end, at the bottom of the screen. And this is handspun. So you can tell it's a bit uneven, but I think that's sort of the charm of handspun. The yarn is, this is what the yarn looks like. I have one skein left that's already caked up. So I'm excited to see how long the sleeves will be. I have about 5 centimeters left on the body. So I'm going to divide the yarn I have left into 2. And then knit the sleeves. And hopefully there'll be at least 3/4. Because this is going to be a warm sweater, so I would like to have the sleeves as long as possible. A short sleeved sweater is out of the question if it's that warm, because I'm never going to use it. I might use it as a slipover in winter with a long sleeve t-shirt under, but no, I'm thinking I want at least 3/4 sleeves. In case you were wondering, both cats are here, but they're sleeping. I think that's it for knitting. I don't think that's the big problem with the podcast being this far apart, because my knitting mojo has been sort of lacking. I've been doing more spinning than knitting. But when these are this far apart, I struggle to remember my finished objects, my works in progress. But I think that's it for both knitting and spinning. And then we're over on live stuff. And I have a big announcement to make, something I'm really excited about. My Canadian bestie Sue, Crafted 87, whom I never met in real life, but I talk to every day, and we've been friends for years. And we've never met, of course, because of the distance. But she's actually coming here this summer, all the way from Quebec, to visit me. And STOKMARKNES, a tiny village in the north of Norway. It's not a tiny village, it's a small town. We have a big hotel and everything, so she has a place to stay because I haven't got a spare bedroom. Because my spare bedroom is occupied by my oldest son, who's living with us temporarily. So she has to stay in the hotel, but trust me, she's only sleeping there. We might sit in the hotel bar a couple of times while she's here, but anyway, she's going to be here for a week, and we're already making plans for everything we're going to do. And if we're doing everything we planned, she needs to stay another week, I think. 2 weeks. So I think we have to sort of dampen our ambitions a tiny bit, because we're both sort of introverts, get exhausted if there's lots of people around. And I wanted to take her to Lofoten. Lofoten is extremely people-y in summer, and there's tourists everywhere. But again, Vesterålen I think Vesterålen is more beautiful than Lofoten, but maybe I'm biased because I live in Vesterålen. But we just drive for an hour, including Fibres, and then we're in Lofoten. So it's next door. So that's maybe one thing we're going to do. We have a tiny little fishing village called Nyksund, where I'm not sure, those of you who've been here for a while, you know about the Christmas festival that I went to, Christmas in Nyksund, where I've sold yarn 2 years in a row, and I want to take her there. It's beautiful in summer, and I'm going to take her yarn shopping. We haven't got a yarn store in STOKMARKNES anymore, unfortunately. She had to close down, but there's a really big yarn store in the next town over, about a 20-minute drive from here. So we're going yarn shopping there, and as I said, we're making plans already, lots of plans, and we need to just chill. One more thing I know we're going to do, we're going to have a yarn dyeing day. Yarn and fiber, I guess. And that's depending on the weather, because the end of July when she's coming here at the end of July and going back early August. And that's normally the most stable, warm weather we have here in summer, is late summer. So, but I'm hoping for at least the one overcast day, because that would be the perfect day to dye yarn, because it's really hot in here in summer. We have the air conditioning though, so we're going to do a yarn dyeing day. That day I might actually record a bit. I'm not sure how much we're going to record, because even though she's a podcaster, Distant Stitches by the way, and I'm a podcaster, this is a friend visit. This is a friend visiting me. It's not a joint podcaster meetup or anything. We're just two friends finally meeting for the first time. And I don't think we're going to do some podcast thing. But I'll maybe be recording a bit, taking some pictures. But that's up to Sue. If she wants to do something, fine, we'll do something. But I feel like it's only a week. I don't want to spend an entire day doing some podcaster thing for YouTube. That might sound strange to you, but I don't feel like I'm a YouTuber. These recordings, this podcast is as much therapy for me as it is entertaining for you. Hopefully it's entertaining for you. So this is it for now. I think I've remembered everything. And I'll see you when I see you. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you later. Bye bye.